Welcome to this presentation of the possible, and I will say the only way to solve the global problems we are facing these days. I feel very strongly for this solution since the Earth, the global society are slowly dying. We can all see it, we understand it. We look at BBC, CNN, IJSR, news hours, and we are more or less quite immune to all these bad news. But in some way I can compare myself with the status of the globe, since I have a difficult cancer disease which cannot be cured. So I have some months, hopefully some years to go. I don't know, but I am looking also for the possibility to survive my cancer, as well as I am familiar with the global situation. The Earth is slowly dying. So instead of getting anxiety and screaming and finding those who made this happen and say you are crazy or demonstrate, no use. We need to use our brain. And I do hope this rather old, since the 14th, idea about a world government in action, and in my opinion, together with the new pragmatic ideology for global politics, are the only way to solve the problems right now. Otherwise, there will be a third world war. And there are two ways to move towards a world government. One is a global third world war, and then the winner takes it all. But before this happens, we need to gather the president of the most important countries, Russia, China, India, US, I would say also European Union, and maybe some others, to come together to find the lowest denominator and so the globe will survive. I will take this very shortly now because I have a lot of pictures and I will move through them because you are very familiar with the situation of the globe. We can see today the world of 2023. To the right is a screaming person with anxiety. Why? Because there are 193 nations and strong power blocs. They are competing with each other, and these days they are militarizing now over $2 trillion yearly, and it's still increased. So, and the problem is then population growth, nationalism, and because I can't take it all in detail, you understand it very well, and please stop and break it and read it slowly. Then at the world of 2100, I am optimistic. It maybe take 200-300 years, I don't know, but we need to do this. We need to start this within a few years to organize and make a constitution to the world government. And you can see though what they can have in their action plan. And this will imply life quality for people all over the world. We have to stop talking now. We talk about this for hundreds of years. Nothing happened. There's still the same problem, and now even worse. So it's a little bit a rush and hurry in this. You can see this Edvard Munch picture. I like it because I hate it. And if we all stand up, young people mostly, they are standing up and screaming. It's a disaster. It's a disaster. I don't like it. We need to sit down and take it with big responsibility. And those who will sit down, as I said, is the presidents of the biggest countries all over the world. We see here migration, refugees, inequality, nationalism, poverty, diseases, homelessness, waste, no trust, rapid growth population, pollution, climate change, nuclear weapons, starvation. And then we spent $2 trillion for military spending in 2022. I mean, it's crazy. We have to stop this. And then again, we can see that the population growth, we can't just say it is only population growth, and some say it's like climate change, and some say the nationalism, and some etc. etc. I mean, United Nations, they are the most expensive consulting organization in the world. They just talk and writing reports for billions, but they are, I can say, toothless tiger. They cannot do almost nothing about the global situation. There are sitting people smiling and sorry to say, Antonio Guterres, etc. So $2 trillion, you see it. Nuclear war, North Korea. Now I think Putin will put a missile maybe to in somewhere in Ukraine. We have I will say we have pushed him too far. So we need to sit down and balance. And wars, Ukraine war, in Sudan and Syria. It's I mean it's crazy, and we just let it happen. And UN again cannot do anything. A lack of food. How many pictures of this can we see? And climate change. No water. Will be desert. Nothing can be grown. Then starvation. Refugees. When you are too hungry, you start walking. And within 10, 20 years, 30 years, there will be hundreds of million people coming from Africa, Middle East, from India, from Bangladesh. They will just walk to Europe and they will hit us down. And we can't blame them. They have to do it. And then there will be disaster. Overpopulation, yes, a symbolic picture. You see they are 1.4 billion in India now, China 1.3 billion, and the world is still expanding. All these diseases. Nationalism. What is nationalism? It's not only Nazism and fascism, it is also social democrats who really want to be taking care of their own country. We need to look globally. We can't solve any problem, but globally. That's why we need a world government, not 196 nationalistic countries. So nationalism can only be defeated by a world government. And we have to think new, not the old ideologies, because everyone thinks they are right, but they are not. They are part of the problem, not a part of the solution. If it's the liberals or the conservatives or the social democrats, not even speak about the green, and they only see some correlation between one word and the problem in the world. There's no thinking behind it. Lack of water, we will see it. Only almost 2 billion people in south of Himalaya and in Bangladesh, in India, 8 countries soon lack of water. What will they do? And the global inequality. Well, yes, we know about it. Poverty, we know about it. Waste, we have seen it. The failure of UN, yes. Everyone is talking for their own sick idea, or as we say, mother. And everything, I am right, you are wrong. I am right, you are wrong. Raise up your head and think globally. Start globally. And this is, of course, we hate them, they hate us. And we who hate them are Allah's gift to the world. Those who hate us are racist. And this can be said of the opposite as well. So there's nothing against, but Look at the reality. We are behaving crazy. And the trust, we have seen it. We can see it everywhere. And as soon as we listen to the people within one country, we cannot solve this problem within a country. So it is dangerous with this. I call it mobs. Biodiversity, there is a connection, of course, and we know about it. Everyone talks about it, and nobody do nothing at all. And why? Because the problem is that we don't understand who will solve the problem. It is not the Social Democrats in Sweden who put a lot of taxes to the owners of companies in Sweden and put it to the seed organization in the UN, and then we are happy we can solve the problem in the world. It's so close-minded. We need to think globally. And the world population, we know about it. It increase. And we can see the density of population. It is India, this is Asia mostly. And so back to this world government in action. A plan for, of course, finance, education, security, military forces. We need someone who has the power, the monopoly of violence, and it couldn't be within each nation. Again, it must be on a global level who has this monopoly, so they can take care of, I mean, the Gaza split, and with Israel or Ukraine, Russia, or in Sudan. We need to put down our foot and say stop. So we have to have power from one government, infrastructure as well, energy. So we know how to do everything. We have the technology, we have the know-how, but it isn't used in the right way because there are too many split power shifts. Life quality can only come if peace arises. Healthcare, food supply, water supply is a huge target for the humankind. So we need to get started. And this is, you can see a picture from a school. Everyone understands it, so you study it. And this is also black and white, but nevertheless, we can see the status of today and the vision. You study it by yourself slowly. And then we have the circles of good and bad. Philosophers have for years and hundreds of years tried to understand what is good. This is the good circle. Trust, carefulness, fair relations, substantial, plain. And the bad circle is the opposite, of course. Quality of life, we can measure it with life index. And here we can see Denmark, Finland in the top, Bangladesh rather low. And so we can measure the moral system of the good society. Good entrepreneurs, good politicians, good families, good citizens, good policy, and good quality of life. It can be curated. We have seen it in Denmark, in Finland. And here we can see the blue circle could be Denmark, and the red circle could be Iran, Iraq, Syria. Why? You figure it out. But at the bottom of the line of the day, a world government is the only way to move forward. How to eat healthy, we know. And here then we can see with dark blue the richest countries, and so you can see in the bottom, etc. Homeless, a lot of homeless in the world, and we know how to handle with it, but we are not prioritizing. In the financial systems, there are only 25 focus countries. 73% of the world's financially are excluded. So And the water again, the water scarcity problem. And as I said before, the mountain of Hindu Kush, Himalaya, the source of 10 rivers, supplies fresh water to around 2 billion people. We know what happened. Due to the climate change, there will be no water in the future. 2 billion people. We understand it already today. And all these climate scientists, they are in the television with reports every day, every hour, and say, we must do it now, the politician, etc., etc. But it's wrong address. To whom shall we address these problems? There are no one in the world today. UN cannot do it. A single nation cannot do it. There is no one in the world, no ideology, no religion. No one can solve it. That's why we need a world government. And we need a new pragmatic ideology for global politics. It is simple as that. And we can see, of course, the situation that the balance with men as they are and institutions as they may be. You can see these philosophers. And the method for finding global solutions is very simple. Here we are today. Where do we want to be? An action plan is a world government with a pragmatic ideology. It's simple as that. I call it Pasism, this new ideology. And a sovereign global power ruled by a political elite, sorry to say, democracy 100% will not be possible. Trained according to Plato's crafts model in a modern version, that is, sovereign global power cannot be combined with ideal democracy. We have to face the fact. And Pasism comes from P as power, A as assuring, S as survival, and ISM comes from the meaning distinctive doctrine. Power assuring survival as a doctrine. Power assuring survival for humanity. That's why I propose the word Pasism. And Pasism creates, this is the symbol. I like the symbol. I let it be made. New global relation. So people in all countries unite to carry out the vision, a world for all. A basic principle of Pasism is not these fancy words, human rights, etc. Article 1 says no one shall starve. No one shall starve. No one shall be homeless. No one shall suffer from diseases. No one shall suffer from criminality. No one shall suffer from war. Everyone shall have access to education. Everyone can contribute to the society. So the purpose of Pasism is secure survival for humankind, assure a world for all, perform and realize articles 1 to 7. If you now compare the articles with the articles of United Nations, you will see a big difference because they are purely academic people in UN and careerists. They want to be something and then they went to UN without thinking deeply. What is the problem? How can we solve? Who can solve it? The action plans of Pasism, disarmament, demobilization, I can read it for you, but you can read yourself. Secure forces for daily safe food and medicine supply, etc. This is the action plan. And nothing, someone said that, as Elon Musk, he said, we have to go to Mars because we can't live on this earth anymore. It's the wrong way. We need to clean it up. It is to destroy a house and then say we have to move to another house because the house is, we didn't paint it, we didn't clean it, we didn't do anything, we just stepped it down. Now go back to the earth and make it function in the earth globally. Here, presidents, world government, world parliament, chamber 1, chamber 2, I think we need 2 chambers. And how to organize them, you can see yourself on action plans, regional parliaments, because the global power, the global world government will maybe take control of 10% of everything. 90% will be dealt with in regions and what we now say different countries. But when it comes to nuclear power and climate change and lack of food, we need to have a global plan. And we can see here the complexity of the world to deal with. So it's not an easy task. This is UN organization, just to show you how they try this teethless tiger. That's something we can take control of maybe. And here all the different UN organs and headquarters are located with no result, almost no result. It's a pity. And the framework of the living standard, natural capital, human capital, social capital, financial and physical capital. This picture can show us how a remote system can function. A wind turbine, solar panels, produce electricity to pumps, to pump up water from the ground, to spread the water out over the land so it will be green and it can be both drinking water and electricity to the households so we can bake what we have produced on the fields. This is not a rocket science. This is a matter of power and priority. Still, this is the basic question. Who will solve the problem? And of course, my favorite, Winston Churchill, Bertrand Russell, Albert Einstein, and Albert Camus. Just listen to them. This is about 1947, when UN, around that year, was created. There was a big mistake, big mistake. As Churchill said, unless some effective supranational government can be set up and brought quickly into action, the prospects of peace and human progress are dark and doubtful. And Bertrand Russell, he was a philosopher, so he could be flying a little bit more. Science has made unrestricted national sovereignty incompatible with human survival. The only possibilities are now world government or death. But this is still what I'm saying. So there is no salvation for civilization or even the human race other than the creation of a world government, said Albert Einstein. He was the wisest of all. He even admitted that we need a grand unified theory. Yes. And Albert Camus almost said the same. And then please listen to John Lennon's very nice Imagine. He was so influenced by Yoko Ono, and this is really a wonderful song. Listen to that one, and please don't only get anxiety, and please try to think globally and look overview. And now these days there is this bad conflict rising close to a third world war between NATO and Russia. And soon, trust me, soon there will be invasion in Taiwan. There is a plan between Xi Jinping and Putin. You start in Ukraine, I will not complain. And then later on I will show up my weapon system towards Taiwan, and then we go into Taiwan. And so it's very tricky. I'm not sure exactly how to start this movement towards a world government. There is, though, a World Federation movement. I think it seems to me also that it was, I think, created by Albert Einstein and others. They were members. I am also a member of that organization. Nevertheless, it seems to me there are too many academics. Again, nothing wrong with academic, but sometimes they like the words more than the action. And now it's time for action. Please remember this. Think globally. Think world government in action. Think about the new pragmatic ideology for global politics. So please make this happen. So thank you for now. Bye.